Hi everyone and welcome to today's video of ZK Studies. We are going to be taking a look at the alimentary canal. Now, what exactly is the alimentary canal? This simply refers to the digestive tract, or the series of organs that food goes through as it's processed by the body. So before we get started with the different organs, enzymes, or steps involved in this process, let's just define what digestion is. Digestion is the breakdown of large, insoluble food molecules So think of lipids, carbohydrates, proteins. So these are going to be broken down into smaller, soluble molecules, which can be absorbed into the bloodstream. And there are two main types of digestion. There is mechanical digestion, which physically breaks down food into smaller, manageable pieces. As well as chemical digestion. And I think this definition applies more so to chemical compared to mechanical digestion. Because it involves altering the chemical composition of molecules. Okay, so the first organ of the alimentary canal that we're going to be focusing on is the mouth. So in the mouth, ingestion occurs. Where food enters the mouth and is taken in. And we have both chemical and mechanical digestion occurring here. So mechanical digestion is due to our teeth. Such as canines, which rip, incisors, which bite or break, and molars, which grind. We also have the tongue and saliva, which helps moisten the bolus of food so it's easier to swallow. And then we have chemical digestion, because these structures, known as salivary glands, secrete salivary enzymes. So these include salivary amylase and salivary lipase. So there you have it, the first organ of the alimentary canal, which is the mouth. Okay, moving on. So after the food goes through the mouth, it then reaches the esophagus. Which is a long tube connecting the mouth to the stomach. And a process known as peristalsis occurs here. Peristalsis is the series of contractions of smooth muscle which helps food pass through the digestive tract. And I could even add that they're a series of rhythmic contractions. So they occur periodically. Okay, once food is passed from the esophagus, it reaches the stomach, which is this organ over here. And once again, both mechanical and chemical digestion occur in the stomach. We have mechanical digestion because the muscular stomach walls pound and churn food, which physically breaks it down into smaller pieces. And then we also have chemical digestion. The stomach contains a lot of hydrochloric acid, which I'm going to write as HCl. And what it does is that the pH of the stomach is now around pH 1 to pH 2. This has two main functions. First, it kills off any microorganisms by denaturing their enzymes so they can't function. And secondly, pH 2 is around about the optimum temperature of gastric protease. Optimum pH of protease. So before we continue with the progression of organs that food passes through, let's take a look at some other important organs involved in the digestive system. Over here, you have a structure known as the liver. The liver is really important because it produces bile, and bile emulsifies fats. Which means it breaks it down into small droplets which increases the surface area for lipase to act upon. Bile also is involved in neutralizing stomach acid. So that the enzymes in the small intestine are not denatured. apart from the liver, we also have a structure known as the gallbladder, which is involved in storing bile. And right over here, we have a leaf-like organ known as the pancreas, which produces digestive juices and digestive enzymes. For example, pancreatic amylase, lipase, and protease. Okay, so now going back to the progression of food through the digestive tract. Once it is passed from the stomach, it goes into the small intestine. So 7, small intestine, which is this organ over here. And the small intestine is where the majority of nutrient absorption takes place. And the small intestine is very adapted for this function. It contains lots of folds and turns to increase the surface area for absorption, and it also has finger-like projections known as villi. After the small intestine, food passes through the large intestine. Which is where excess water is absorbed. I'd also like to mention the appendix, which doesn't have a known function, but is known as a vestigial structure. And it's attached to the large intestine. Finally, feces are stored in the rectum. So it's a pouch where feces are stored. And lastly, we have the anus, which is where feces are expelled from the body through egestion. Feces are egested. So there you have it, a walkthrough of the alimentary canal.